hitting you up on one of the best days of the week, Tuesday, all day, every day. Let's hope the stream is working. Let me back the headset off my mouth so I don't hit you with all that unnecessary mouth breathing. Let's make sure everything is operating. It appears to be operating. Sick. All right, guys. Official third, fourth live stream. That is that's a huge success. So today we're going to be doing we're going to at least be covering some of the things I've been working on this week. I'm going to show you guys kind of like what's been on the table. I'm also going to come back to that Ork Death Copter that we airbrushed last week. I'm going to let you guys see that here in just a second. We're going to start working on an Ork War Boss, making sure everything's coming in fresh. What I got up on display right now, make sure my chat's working on my tablet, because obviously I don't want to have to keep looking up. Let's make sure. Stop being stupid, tablet. Oh my god, the tablet is being a little bitch. It's not that big of a deal because it is a incredibly cheap tablet. All right, anybody hit me up in the Q&A. We'll do some shout outs here in just a second. Looking fresh. Live. Come on, tablet. Give me something. All right, people. We got a couple people shouting out. Fireware 65. Yo, Doug, excited that you did a night episode. Yeah, trying to move trying to move this whole operation to the evenings based on my good friend Rob Bear's personal advice. He said that no one was going to watch live if it was in the morning. And I had picked the morning because it seemed easier at the time. So we're definitely going to try to settle into this Tuesday rhythm at this time. Let's make sure everything looks fresh. Got the tablet display looking good. Y'all, let me explain these bases that I'm showing you guys here in just a second. Make sure everything's in focus. As usual, it's a little bit of a process to get all the cameras the way I want. Okay, so I'll show you guys this real quick. This is what I was working on today. I'm still working on it. This is, I like to call these the Jade Palace. This is for the Yu Jing faction and Infinity. I think that's right. Yu Jing, Yao Jing. I don't know. The Invincible Army. We just finished the Panosha. I'll have some sick ass gallery pictures up there real soon. In the meantime, though, I'm working on the Kill Bill themed Yu Jing. All sick yellow jumpsuits, looking fresh, black accents, black stripes. We're gonna go next level. Like the Panosha, kind of stretched out our skills, expanded our horizons, and we're gonna take it to that next level. Some OSL, but we're starting with the bases. We're treating each one of these bases as if it was an individual model. Not the classic, let me just throw some rocks on something, dry brush it up, throw a couple of things, you can kind of get sloppy on it because it's a base. Now, literally, each one of these bases is going to get a once over, like an actual miniature, like the highlights, everything, because it's like that Jade Palace. We're trying to do these sick gleaming effects right here. And I'm not gonna paint these real quick on the stream, but I'm gonna show you guys. This is the next level green. This is like the ancient Chinese technique of painting the greens. Iosin green from Privateer Press, Necrotite green from Privateer Press. P3 formulas. These are the sickest colors together. And the way you bang out that last highlight is GW Flash gets yellow. These are like, this is ancient. And I didn't even prime these with traditional primer. I primed these with Army Painter Angel Green. So like, it's literally Angel Green. Bang out some of these highlights, and then you got to start going in there and edge highlighting them. Before I show you the next thing, let me clear out this Q&A real quick. Just talk to you guys. I've got Spikey Bits. How do I get bigger biceps like you? Obviously, that's Rob Bear being a dick. You know you can't get bigger biceps. It's literally medically impossible for you. Iron headed, eat more gluten. Spiky Bits. Yep. If you could eat gluten, that would be the answer. Impulse 0890. This timing is great. Black Tire to Rain. That's my boy Jason up in the mountains in North Carolina. He says, "Hey Kenny, nice looking bases. Thank you, brother." Fire Warrior. Yeah, I was looking for the others. Oh my God, Dirty Sheets McSkeets checking in, saying what's up. Iron Headed. I thought those bases were for the Orks. Those are sweet tech bases. How much masking? There's literally no masking on these bases. This is just gangster airbrushing and some edge highlighting with a paintbrush. Ironhead comes in clutch with Iosin and Necrotite, great Bale Tan colors. Oh yeah, sick. Mighty looks like Cthulhu, Blood for the Blood God. I wonder if that's my boy Stoner Steve checking in. Right, that sounds like right up his alley. Okay, so working on these bases, I'll also show you like the scale that I'm going to be painting these bases on. Like that's what's up. Mounted all some tape, got them on cardboard. That's the scale we're working on. That's all just airbrush right now, and obviously we're going to take it to this level. So I might hit you guys up with a live stream on that here later. But today we're going to be doing some other things. And obviously I want to show you guys. Last week we worked on the old puppetswar.eu coming in fresh with some donations. Oh, before I even show you that, let me show you this box. So this is how fresh Puppets War came in. So you guys remember we painted these last week, right? We just did some airbrushing, we did some pre-shading, we did what we do right here. I've got these two still to paint right here, and they even sent in the counterpart, the Green Baron. It's a tri-wing plane based on the same chassis. So we're going to be painting a total of 5 of these together. Now, obviously, I said last week I showed you guys some of that pre-shading technique, some of that airbrushing technique. Now, I want to show you what I've done since then. Obviously, we released a studio tutorial in the meantime, trying to show you guys some of these freehand techniques. And this is what we're at right here. I'll make sure the focus is looking fresh. Are we looking good? Also, give me a heads up, guys, if the stream is looking fresh, if it's smooth, if it's getting interrupted or not. I went up 1 notch in resolution to try to get you guys some more clarity. So I'm feeling pretty good about this this shot right here. So let's talk about what we've done here differently. So since last week, we've come through and we've painted all the battle damage in, drew some small highlights underneath all the holes. Every little piece that you can see that's like a piece of battle damage, we put some metal in there, threw some wash in there, and then did a little under highlight to kind of double down on that that 3-dimensional scratch effect. And it works really well when there actually is an actual 3-dimensional scratch. And you see you're really rewarded by a nice clean look here. We even we didn't stop there. We applied it to the windshield. Did some of those scratches in the windshield right here. We obviously did a whole tutorial on painting these spikes, these sweet ass dag patterns on everything. We even applied those to the missiles. We under the twin leg rockets underneath right here. We painted some of those patterns on them, make them look fresh. I'm gonna have some sick new bases coming in for these guys, but in the meantime, I got him on a base just so he look his best. We obviously used the RZA Rust. We got a million tutorials on how to use RZA Rust. We went in there and applied the RZA Rust in all the corners. Came in and did some scratch patterns on the metal. I showed you a whole tutorial on how to do the scratches. RZA Rust in the center. And here's the buzzsaw right here. Now, we still got to paint the rider. And I was going to paint the rider for you guys. Let me show you that rider. He's near right here. I got him right here. So the rider would just chill in here like this, and he'd be hanging his head out the window, getting some wagging his tongue right here. He's a sick little orc. I have some paints coming in the mail. They're not here yet, so we're not going to paint that little rider. I don't have the right colors for him right now. You got to get your color game on lock. You know what I'm saying? So what we are going to do is I'm going to show you guys some ancient Chinese techniques on painting. What is it? Zad Snark Doripa from Forge World. He is the leader of the Ork Dread Mob Army. And I want a special shout out to somebody who donated this model to me. And this, I know this doesn't look like much right now. It looks like a solid metal bike. That's because it is. A quick shout out to my people, real quick. My boy, so many messages. Sorry for taking 1 million seconds to track this down. Got my boy, Matthew. That's right. He is a true pimp, true gentleman. Matthew Phillip, similar last name to me, Boucher. I want to say Boucher. He donated this, so we can paint. We can paint this up. Now, the secret trick here is that we prime this bike chassis solid metal, just a basic basement fucking bottom barrel primer from Walmart, basically, like literally just random silver. But we left off the fenders, the fairings, all the cool stuff right here, the face plates, all that iron gob that goes in the tire right here, I guess the hubcap or the fender. Left off the rocket pack right here. This mounts up on top. And of course, we left off the rider, right chon. And here's the Ripper himself with that sick ass Initiative 4 Strength 10 Power Claw that he ramps that shit up, and it's such a dope model. The only weird thing is it's got this belt driver right here, and that's all tiny little Forge Worlds, impossible to put together, basically. So you got to do a lot of green stuff, in my experience. It's not the first one to put together. Same thing with the arm connection. This is an old Forge World, Same thing with the arm connection. And this is all liquid green stuff. I'll show you guys how to use that at some point, just to fill those gaps. But we'll put this guy on here later. But today I'm going to show you how easy it is to paint something like this. We put this together. We spray painted it silver, let it dry overnight, and we're going to basically wash this in one big go. And then we're going to start working on the rest of the panels. And before I get started, let's look at the Q&A. Going up to Iron-Headed or Dirty Sheets McSkeets. Anyone catch the Stephen Hawkes Forge World Solar Artillery model? That sounds amazing. I need to check that out. Iron-Headed, Tight Wash, highlight combo on the planes. Thanks, my man. Fire Warrior 65 says he loves the plane. Iron-Headed still working the Vallejo Dark Wash. We are going to use a little of the Vallejo Dark Wash, but mainly we're going to use the Vallejo Black Wash. We're going to kind of combo them together. I'm going to show you guys that here in a second. Dirty Skeet says it's a sick model. Black Tower Terrain, the stream looks great and sounds great. Iron-Headed checking in, saying the quality checks. The stream is okay, camera's okay. Maybe time for a new blotter on the desk. You talking shit about all my paint stains? You're not the first person. Okay. So ancient Chinese technique right here. Water bottle lid. You guys are obviously intimate with this process, right, Sean? I'm going to take the Vallejo Dark Washes for vehicles right here. We're going to basically fill one of these up. I'm going to take the Vallejo Black Wash right here. I'm going to shake the shit out of it because it likes to settle. One of my tricks is I like to turn it upside down when I shake it. Lets that sediment come back to the top, all the pigment. Let's pour that shit out into this one. And I'm going to kind of pull from both as we go. Let me make sure our focus looks good here. All right. But before I get too crazy, I think I got a black glove because wash is kind of a bitch. And I might even get kind of crazy, and I might even use my Leatherman to hold this model because I already know from experience that once it gets real, that it's gonna get slippery. I'm gonna start off. Let's make sure we're looking good. Maybe I can zoom in. Sick. Zoom it in and pan in. There it is. It's not going to be as clear as you want, but we're zoomed in tight. So I'm just going to actually start by pouring on the black wash and then kind of just pulling out of the vehicle wash. And this one in the blue lid is real dark. It is insanely dark. So I really want to get that gritty look later when I dry brush it all. So that's why I'm combining the two, because the black wash is great. but I want it just to be a little darker. It's almost like it's the pre-diluted version of this. And as you can see, it is, I mean, dark beyond all belief. And we're just going to kind of keep pulling off of that, what we've already laid down. And when we come back in, after it dries, we're going to dry brush this motherfucker with some Vallejo metals. And this is just like you said, you go beast. You don't even play games with this. Just get your big brush. Now a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you just dip it? You got no control with min wax and varnish. Like that shit is lame. Like I can completely control this and decide how I want it to be, and I can rein it back if it's getting too thick, man. I could literally just dunk this in water if I don't want it. If I decide it's too thick, you know. So just go crazy. Obviously, there's gonna be like leather seats there, so you don't have to go all over the seat if you don't want to. Barrels. Looks like it's gas tank, ghetto or gas tanks. Now it's important to kind of like pool wash from what I like to call the wet edge. Like as you're building the wash, you don't want to like start in two different areas. You want to kind of keep pulling the wet edge to the direction you're going, because it'll start drying irregularly if you hop around. You want to finish the areas you're working on. And I keep doing quick visual inspections to make sure it's not drying like crazy weird. I'm gonna pull the camera out real quick for you guys so it's not so blurry, so you can kind of get a better appreciation for what we're doing here. Make sure our focus is looking good. Yep, not bad. We focused. Yep. Now it's gonna get to that part where it's gonna get slippery. Let's paint these guns. This is the twin link. His twin linked. I think he has a twin link big shooter, whereas regular orc war bikes have a twin link DACA gun. So I think he can shoot 36 inches. Is his special rule. Other than that, it's the same exact stats as the DACA cannon, which is 18 inches to 20 instead of 36. Derippa is a beast. If you guys don't know who Derippa is that Snark. He's the Speed Freak HQ choice that you can find on the last page of the Dread Mob PDF that you can download for free from Forge World. He is currently one of the best things that Orks have going for them right now. He unlocks Orc Warbikers in an army that includes him as the Warlord. That's his Warlord trait. He unlocks them as troop choices. So obviously in a combined arms attachment or multiple combined arms attachments, that gives objective secure to Orc Warbikes. I can't tell you how important that is right now in the current meta of the game, where the ability to quickly get your ass onto objectives and then out of there over and over again is how you win. That's how you win ITC missions. And ITC, if I don't have to tell you guys, they're currently the leaders in the competitive tournament scene right now, the competitive hobby. So if you can't get multiple small scoring units onto objectives throughout the course of the game and then have some left over for the end of the game, you can't win. And so making Orc Warbikes objective secure is huge. Not to mention, like I've made this analogy in the past, 3 Orc Warbikes is like 54 points. That is like Eldar jet bike territory. And they have smoke cloud special rules. So if they move and then they go flat out and then they jink, they have a 3-up cover save. All of a sudden you got 3 toughness 5 models with 3-up cover save. It's not as easy to kill as a lot of people think that, like as it would seem. So for 54 points, you have basically 3-man models, 3-man units that can go 24 inches and get to those objectives, and then turbo boost, and then jink, and possibly stay alive. You know. So what we got here now, what I'm going through is I'm gonna do a quick visual inspection on the sides, make sure the pulling isn't too crazy. And there it is, right there. Let me turn this light up, maybe. It's super. Let me get it close to the camera and redo the focus for you guys. So it's like all just oil stained. They're like old, just like beat up, dark metal right now. This is gonna look super good after we dry brush it. Like this is gonna look crazy good, and especially if we come in with some typhus corrosion, some Rizza rust. So I'm gonna set this aside for now. But I'm gonna clean up this mess because that is a disaster, obviously. And I'm gonna look at the Q&A again. Where are we at? Where it looks like we're at Iron-headed. Quick question: what's the difference between Vallejo Blackwash, Eyedropper, and the Darkwash large bottle? I believe they're the same. One just is way more economically priced. Uh, Dirty Sheets McSkeet says concentrated. Impulse 0890 says just donated via tip jar. In your description below, didn't see it pop up on the screen, but I got a confirmation email, so I guess I went through. Yeah, you're the first person to donate live, so I was actually interested to see if it popped up on the screen. Let me tell you this straight up, guys. Getting like your Twitch to broadcast, to get all the little algorithms to play off of each other, it's not easy. Literally, my boy Cal Saudi, he came through, gave me like a 3 hour tutorial. I do have an external service that's supposed to handle those like on-screen promotions, but there might be something in there I'm missing. So if you donate to my tip jar, please definitely hit me up right here so I can shout you out, because I definitely don't want that to be a missed out opportunity. Impulse 0890, whoever you are, whatever your name is, thank you, my brother. The donations are super huge. Seventh Forge. He is not that good. I punked him out with a Fleshhound during Death or Glory. Seventh Forge. The Ripper. The Ripper individually is practically meaningless. This guy right here, I literally don't give a fuck what he does. What I do care about is the 6 3-man units of fucking objective secured bikes that are 54 each, 54 points each that I have in reserves. That's what he does. He also has a weird special rule where he can tank shock. He can run into a unit like as if he was a vehicle. Like if you was like bottom of turn 5 and you're on an objective, I can literally like bust through your unit and get to that objective. Like, so you can Death or Glory me if I take a wound or in combat, or I can plow right through you. He's a good model. He's also got 5 strength. He's got 5 strength 10 attacks on the charge at initiative 4. Like, so he is. I mean, he's a beast. He doesn't have a good armor save though. Where like other models on war bikes have a 4 save, he doesn't. So he's easy to kill. It's just that what he does for the army is why I have him. Where we're at here, Dirty Sheets McSkeet's coming in saying with a pain boy, add a film pain. Obviously, that's the whole list we're working on. Is we're working on a little bit. Obviously, you guys have seen the Death Copters that we're working on. The Death Copters are going to be my Death Star. It's going to be 5 Death Copters with buzzsaws. And it's going to be the Rippa. It's going to be another war boss on bike with a lucky stick. It's going to be another war boss on bike from the Gosgo supplement from a secondary CAD. He's going to have the big boss pole, so the Fearless. We're going to have a pain boy on bike. So I'm going to have 3 war bosses. One guy is going to have the lucky stick. And for anyone who doesn't know the abuse that I'm about to lay down with the lucky stick, let me lay it down for you real quick. The Rippa has another special rule that no other orc model has, and it's huge. He has Skilled Rider. Skilled Rider states that as long as one model in your unit has it, the whole squad gets +1 to their Jinx save. Smoke Cloud is a secondary rule that the orc war bosses have because they're on war bikes. Smoke Cloud says, Exhaust Cloud that is, when this model turbo boosts, it has a +1 to its Jinx save. So do the math real quick. What is the Jinx save of a war boss in a unit with the Rippa if he turbo boosts? That's a 2-up Jinx save, my man. So I got a war boss with a lucky stick who gets to re-roll as many saving throws as he wants until he fails 3 of them. Then he's removed. So I've got a guy in the squad who can tank on 2-up rerollables and then take a Feel No Pain save. And I've got 3 Grout Orderly, so I can essentially, if I'm ITC, it's a 2-up rerolled into a 4-up because they never let you do 2-up rerollable. So he gets to do a 2-up, reroll it on a 4-up with the lucky stick, 5-up Feel No Pain, reroll it because of the Grout Orderly. He's got 3 of those. I've rolled it out, done math multiple times. It typically takes about 60 wounds to stop that guy from shooting. You have to physically inflict 60 wounds, not 60 shots, not 60 bullets. Like literally, you have to get through the hits into the wounds. You have to do 60 wounds on him, on that unit before that one model dies. And that's an orc squad. Now, obviously, if you ignore a cover, it's a big problem. So, I'm not saying that orcs are going to beat everybody. I'm just saying that I've got some tricks up these sleeves Not to mention I've got the Big Mech Stompa for 400 points that's going to obscure them if you have ignore cover, so you won't be able to see them. Anyway, let's move on to the next part. This is the rocket pack right here. This is what goes in the back of the Ripper's bike. And I painted it black because I want to do an actual light dry brushing on this thing. And I want to do it like a dark steel dry brush. I don't want to get too crazy though. But we're going to take some of this gunmetal gray from Vallejo and we're going to do a dry brush. And just classic dry brush maneuver here. Get it nice and dry. Pull it off of my pad. And let's just dry brush this joint. Now let me zoom in real quick for you guys. The idea is I want to keep this relatively like it's black steel. So that's why I'm not painting it silver and then doing a wash like we're doing with the rest of it. I want this to actually be black and just chipped up. As you can see, we're getting a nice effect here. And then later I'll come in and do some freehand on it. But I want there to be a total contrast of types of metals here. His actual war bike that we just washed, when we're done with that, that's going to be just gritty steel. When we're done with this, it's going to be black with some dry brushing. Same deal. Get it going. Get inside the intake. You don't want to need to go too crazy because we're going to come back. We're going to come back with some, effects. We're going to paint these different ringlets. We might paint like some red in there. These little types of details is where you can really add a lot of character to a model. For sure. Like if you came in and painted this this coupling black and with checkers and then this one red, you can really do work. It's not too hard to do. Obviously, I'll come in and I'll do some OSL, possibly on this drip and on this thruster right here. I might do some heat scoring on this, like going all the way back. But this is basically what we're talking about here. Just a nice black and steel effect. That took 1 second, and we'll come back and, like I said, we'll just do all that final detail later. And I'll show you what we're talking about here. So the bike is drying off now, and as it's drying off, it's going to start being more and more silver. This goes right here. That's the rocket pack, and don't forget, this is going to get dry brushed back to silver. So they're gonna have nice contrast when they're done. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do while we're being efficient, because this is the name of the game. This is the next level process. Like, you got to be efficient. Let something dry, work on the next thing. Now we are gonna get ambitious next. We're gonna airbrush next, and you guys, we can't do an episode without doing a little bit of airbrushing, right? Let me get the compressor going, and then I'll talk about the Q&A real quick. Okay, so Iron-Headed. Oh man, idea for Long War Battle Report: the Ripper Death Star versus Thunderwolves. That'll be a good one. It's just that Thunderwolves have a 3-up inaudible, so that's a problem. Dirty Streets McSkeet says it's obnoxious as hell. Yeah, right. I don't mind being obnoxious with my orcs. Like, everyone else on Earth gets to be literally invincible, hit and run, do whatever they want. I'm playing the Orc Codex very deliberately because it's one of the weakest codexes in 40k, and I'm going to do my damn best to win games with it, I'm going to have a Death Star that can scout because Death Copters can scout. It's going to have hit and run because Death Copters have hit and run. War bosses have initiative 4, so I can hit and run on anything but a 5 or 6. I'll take that, Iron-Headed. Dry brush question. Brushes. Do you like super soft brushes, medium? I basically use worn out older brushes, like brushes that are no longer good for anything, that I've just been using, like this. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this brush right here. That's the brush we're using. This brush is probably a year old. It's soft and worn out. That's what I like. Okay, so we're gonna work on these panels next. Let's clear it out. So these right here, you guys are obviously no stranger to, we use Army Painter Chaotic Red Primer. Super fucking easy. Easy mode all day. Next thing I'm going to do Now that you guys have seen that we don't have last episode we didn't have any troll blood or troll slayer orange. So what we're going to do right out the gate is we're just going to jump straight to the pre-shade on these guys. And I'm going to pre-shade these in a totally different way than we did last week. So I'm going to literally grab white, Vallejo Air White. I'm a gangster gumbo real quick. We're going to get some Vallejo Airbrush Flow Improver, right, Sean? Ancient Chinese technique, throw that bitch in there. Even with the air paint, I always use it. I want it to be nice and watery. I'm going to pour some directly in there. Let's get it in there nice. I want like the watery, a little bit more watery is better for this process. Let's backflow this. Gangster gumbo mode right here. Let's grab a stirring brush. I also keep my other extra brushes on lock just for this right here. Stir it in. Pour a little fresh water in there. Let's make sure we're looking good. Feeling good about that. Remember, always keep the tip clean. Pro tip right there. Use our airbrush toothbrush cleaner. Spilling white everywhere. Alright. Feel good about that. So I'm going to pull these little pieces off and work on them one at a time. So, Doom Hower. So something cool. Light the paint on fire. Does the paint get you high? The paint will give you lung cancer, I'm pretty sure, if you airbrush it enough. Without a respirator, since I haven't been using a respirator for these videos. Okay, let's see what we got here. Iron Gob right here. What we're going to do is we're going to pre-shade with white. Which is just finding the highlights. Like so. And obviously this looks kind of silly if you're trying to paint it red. This doesn't make any sense. But you guys saw me last week do a type of appreciating. I'm going to show you a different type right here. Just pure white, man. Just fade it in nice and subtle. We got a little bit of a sticker right here on that piece of resin. What I'm going to do is put down the brush. 1 second. And we're going to pull out an X-Acto blade and we're going to clean this piece of resin a little bit better. Get that off. Alright. Now, the key here is you want to make sure the peaks are fucking literally pure white. That's going to take a couple of passes. So just set it down. Grab the skull right, Sean. Same deal. Now, this is the faceplate right here. So this is up. So same thing. Now I'm going to Zenthio highlight it down. Like so. Said pre-shade, man. And just be subtle. Subtly blend it in. We just got our first speckle. So, guys, remember what to do when that happens. Keep that tip clean, son. Gregorius 42. Is this a commission or a personal army? This is a personal army, with most of the parts being donated by Puppets War, Cromlech, and other various sources. I'll post a final list online somewhere, but it's going to be a pretty solid list, man. I feel good about it. It's got 10 Death Copters, 6 units of bikers, the Death Star, and it's got a big. It's got the Mega Knob, or sorry, the Big Mech Stompa. It's got like a Gretchen unit in there, multiple Big Mechs to repair it, and we also got a Power Field Void Shield generator. Gotta have that Void Shield generator these days, especially if you're playing Orks. Anyway, there's the pre-shade on this skull right here. Now we're moving to the fenders. Same deal with the fenders. Let's bring that edge in. Just like that. Up, we're getting speckles. Always keep the tip clean. Just like so. We can go back and fix those. Up, we're getting some. We got a chunk in there. That's what's happened. There it is. Sometimes I leave the caps off of my paints and then chunks form. And then when you gangster gumbo, that happens. But we recovered. We recovered. Let's get the other fender out. Ironheader says pre-shading is awesome. Great with candy paints and transparents. Love the time equals save life. Save life equal money. Make profit all day. Got Alfie B the IV checking in late. Ryle Rule, aka Clay Cruz, are my best friends. Should I stay with my current army or get a new one? I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about your Tau? I sent you an army list that works, dog. You're the only person on Earth who can't win a tournament with Tau. I mean that. that's on you. But you're also bringing hobby back. I recognize that, and you're playing some really soft Tau armies to make sure everyone's happy. But coming in last place multiple times means you're allowed to step it up. We're coming back to those teeth, and we're going to make sure these things are perfectly peaked white on the tips. It's coming behind, and all these pieces are added onto the Ripper's bike. All right, feeling pretty good about that. We'll let that dry for a second while we wait to do our final pass on it with the red. Let's get this going right here. Get the little skull faceplate. Come back and just make it real nice and white up in there. There it is. Let it dry. Fenders. Lost the chat. Sorry. I don't know what's happening. My ghetto ass tablet is acting like a little bitch. Come on. Channel feed. I think it's because it's not recognizing my gloves. There we go. Nope, it's being a bitch. It doesn't like getting, I'll tell you what it doesn't like. It doesn't like getting airbrushed all over. Which is what's been happening. I'm going to put it in a different location. Okay. What do we got here? Gregarious 42. My son plays Orc and does went 4-2 at LVO. The SG would have helped against Tau, which he lost. Yeah, the problem with Tau, man, is they take your cover away. And Orcs, man, if they don't have cover, they don't have anything, man. So you definitely need that Void Shield. Like, you just got to do it. And I actually know someone on this live stream right now, Black Tower Terrain. Me and him, we're going to be working on some Orky themed Void Shield generators together, and he's going to be selling some thematic, Imperial bunkers and Void Shield generators on his web store soon. Look forward to seeing one of those prototypes. My tiny dog is going crazy in the other room. I think someone's at the door. I really hope I'm not the one who has to answer that. One second, guys. Yo, let me go check on what's going on out there. This is live. Anything can happen.
sliding out on you guys. I think I left the door locked. All right, guys. Still coming in loud and clear, I hope. Back to the Q&A. What up, dog? At Kenny Boucher, Chaotic Couples Gaming. Oh, I think that's my buddy Zeb. What up, pimpin'? Black Tower making the bits molds now for Kenny. Oh my God, I can't wait. Ironheaded, thanks, Black Tower. Please post on Spikey Bits Facebook. Yes, definitely. You want to do the Spikey Bits hobby page. Dog break. Spikey Bits. But mom, answer the door. No doubt. Gregarious 42. I'm in. Orks voice shield generator. What do you think about Bully Boys? Love that they are fearless. What would you like? Yo, literally, Bully Boys are pretty good. I definitely like them, but you know, obviously you get some feeling of pains on them. They're fearless. They do their job. Get Gosgo in there. Do some tanking. They're a pretty good formation. You know, Orc doesn't have a lot of them though. I got Rob Bear calling me live. This is gonna happen. I'm turning the crush off. Rob Bear, you're live on my live stream. Can't hear me.
Coming in loud and clear. Coming in loud and clear. Testing 1, 2, 3. I just got a phone call from someone watching the stream. Now Rob Bear is live on the live stream.
Worldwide.
Prestige worldwide. All right, guys. Sorry for that. It's back. It's back. Yo, good old Robbie B came in hot for the save. Had a mini disaster. Had a mini disaster in the other room. I think I locked the door and my lady was out there with no keys. That's what happens, man. Prestige worldwide. Dirty Sheets McSkeets coming in fresh. Okay, let's go back in time to where we were in the live stream while I change out the paints. Gonna be racking some red to finish this. Finish up this pre-shade. What I'm doing right now is, you guys seen me do it before. Cleaning out the airbrush in my gangster sink that I have at my feet. Alright. Gonna go back in time here. Black Tower Terrain says he's working on those Orky Void Shield generators right now. That's, you guys, you're not even gonna know. It's gonna be so fresh. Yo, thank you guys for coming in and telling me that I was muted. If it wasn't for you guys, and Rob Bear calling me, I literally would have just talked forever. Someone asked about Bully Boys. Gregarious42 asked about Bully Boys, and do I think they're good? I do. I think that your choices are really limited to Orcs, and that's one of the only other ones that's really good. You know, there's a lot of just really bad matchups for Orcs. Chaotic Couples Gaming says he should have called me. Yeah, you should have called me, Zeb. We got each other's numbers, man. I don't know what you were doing, just sitting there watching me make an ass of myself. God. Terrible friend. Sorry. I forgot this one time that I told you to use GW Purity Cell on your Mephiston, and then you frosted it, and you literally spent like 10 hours painting it, and then it completely ruined it, and you had to strip it and paint it again. We're even now. All right, next color, guys. Scarlet, I think it's called Scarlet Blood. Vallejo. This is one of the best colors right here. This is like GW. This is like the old GW Blood Red. That's how good it is. So, you're going to want to get your flow improver in the pot. Going to want to... Oh, I just lost the fender. Fender down. Fender down. Don't know where it went. You guys have this problem when you drop something like literally 2 inches and it's like bounced 50 feet away. That happens to me every time I drop something. Okay, so let's pour some of this blood red in there. Vallejo blood red. A little bit of water. Same kind of deal. You want to water this down because we are going to, this is the pre-shade. We're turning this kind of transparent. You're going to want it super watery. Super watery. There it is. Okay, you guys are going to see the magic is going to happen right now. Okay, so we got this jaw right here. Let me move this cardboard out of the way. This is dead to me. The jaw right here. We're going to lightly just start bringing this transparent red over it. As light as possible. And it's going to start blending in with the chaotic red and staying super bright where we pre-shaded the whites. Something like that. And this is kind of how you get a natural red transition. Like every other way of transitioning red is a little bit more artificial than this. Like no matter how striking they are, this is one of the most natural ways to brighten red right here. And there you go. That's simple. And now you can come back in there and you can edge highlight that. You can do whatever you need to do, man. That's simple. We got iron-headed, yeah, and it rolls in the cat hair and car. Oh yeah, dude, literally it falls in everything gross, disgusting every time you drop a model. But then you find that you forgot every time you look for something and you find something else you forgot you lost. Iron-headed, I combo between Kenny and RB Airbrush Commission Works and cats. Chaotic couples, mods. Dirty sheets, mesquites, you airbrush cats. Love it. All right. Let's get the little skull done. The faceplate right here. Let me zoom in on this. How we looking? There he is. Let's do that pre-shade like we talked about. Here it is. Real light. Real light. You don't want to overdo it. You just want to come on nice and just, like we're talking all air. Your trigger work is basically all air, very little paint. We just did it again. Every model will have to get dropped on the floor. Let's see it. How much gross hair did we pick up on this thing? Let's finish them up. I might do a second pass on this one. I'll set it down. Let's get to the fenders real quick. There we go. Getting that candy coat. There it is. Nice, easy transition right there, man. Looks good. Now let's see if we can track down that other fender that, and you want to know what happened here with this other fender? You guys, I'm sure you guys had this problem. So, like, basically, you got, like, a pen sitting there, right? And, like, it's kind of just laying there like this over something, right? And, of course, somehow the fender worked its way perfectly right here on the edge of this thing, right? And then I come over to pick it up, hit this, and it catapults the fender off into oblivion. That's basically what just happened. So that fender, no idea where it is. Might have to paint it next time. I think the fastest way to locate it would just start looking in the other bedroom. Kenny Power 55 says, gonna have to try this with my Kador. This is a real good effect with Kador, man, for sure. Okay, had a couple at Spikey Bits. It was nothing special. We just signed papers. You guys got married without telling me? That's upsetting. Ironheaded. At KP says, I did what Kenny did. Appreciated the red for corn bikers. Works great. Hope to see it on the Kador. Yeah, no doubt, man. It's gonna look sick, bro. So while I still have all this red in my pot, man, like I really want to find that fender that quite clearly I am super frustrated that I lost. Okay, so what I have over here, I'm gonna show you guys what we're looking at over here. Look in the Yo Dog cam. So in this region of the world, we'll turn some of this light away. We have lost. It's in here somewhere against the wall. behind our setup. It's over there. If any one of you guys can seize it, like a Where's Waldo search, it's straight gone. Of course, we just dropped one of our new fancy bases. Cultists. Cultists, where are you hiding it? Literally gone. Alright, it's dead to us. We're done. What we're going to do here is do our second pass, I guess, on these iron gobs. Want to make sure it looks good. Make sure you don't have any pink showing through, like on the back there. You want to come in there and you want to get it all red. You don't want any of that white to show through. Same deal on the skull face. Got to catch those edges where the white's going to sit, you know. Looks good. Ugh, just dropping it left and right. See how our fender's looking. Shock V-Wave. What's up, Kenny? Want to get into the 40K? Space Wolf's a good place to start. Yeah, you can do worse. Space Wolf's got some power. Ironhead is fucking with me since I see it next to the power supply wand. Obviously, he said he was kidding. Dick. Okay. So let's take a look at where the war bike is at. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this airbrush down for a minute because it's got all this paint in it that I'm not using. I'm going to turn the compressor off. Now, you can see where some of the stuff on this war bike goes. Gob goes right here. Looks like we got a front plate right here for armor. And fenders just stick out right here in the back. Looking fresh. So once we get all that in there, it's gonna start coming together. And obviously the rocket pack right here. It's gonna come out good. Man, I really want this to dry faster so I can dry brush it, but it's just not gonna happen today. I'll have to show you guys next time. So I showed you guys some pre-shading. Showed you guys a little bit of time management, how I move around the Beats Laboratory super fast. Let me look at the Q&A for 1 second. Okay. So, Lockfinity says, Kenny, what kind of lists you bring into the next tourney? And have you gone to Game Empire in Pasadena yet? I haven't made it to Game Empire Pasadena yet. I've actually only just played my first game in Los Angeles. I played at a place called Next Gen Comics. Played with my buddy Arthur. Met up with a lot of friends out there. We played a game. Actually, it's going to be the first West Coast guerrilla game. Like, it's all filmed guerrilla with a cell phone. We're going to do some voiceover. It's going to be like 10-minute battle reports. Played my Chaos. Right now, all I have is my Chaos. I'm working on these Orks. Eventually, the Orks will be done. No idea. I'm only going to really work on the Orks in my spare time and on the live stream, so I don't know when I'm going to be ready for that. Iron-headed Vallejo Red. Is that a game color? Yeah, I'm using the game color Vallejo Red for this effect. I find that the Scarlet Red is just a little too soft. Catacouples. I'm not sure how used to Twitch everyone is, but if you are talking to someone in the chat, put at username. If you're talking directly at Kenny, put at Next Level Painting. That would be helpful, guys. Make it a lot easier. Gregarious 42 Broadside Bash was past weekend in San Diego. Yeah, I wasn't able to go, obviously. I am going to try to go to the Bay Area Open. Hopefully, I might get super lucky and might have the Orks done in time for that. That'd be sick. And if I do go to the Bay Area Open, I'm going to be looking for roommates and somebody possibly pick me up from the airport because I'm not going to drive 6 hours over there and I'm going to fly the 1 hour. Dirty Sheets McSkeet says, you going to do the LVO and any of the bigger events in the West Coast? Yep. I definitely plan on hitting the LVO up. You know, definitely, like I just said, Bay Area Open is definitely on my list. I've been talking to my boy Reese, one of my best friends. We're drinking 1,000 beers together, working something out. Clay Cruz, how much paint do you need to paint a Storm Surge? With an airbrush, not that much, my man. It's really honestly about, being efficient with your airbrush all day. But I do think that we're done with the painting tutorial part of the live stream. So if you guys want to ask any questions, I'll answer them right now. If you don't, whatever, I can call it quits early. But I will rapid fire any questions that are directed at me with the at next level painting moniker, as suggested by Chaos Couples Gaming, aka Zeb, aka a Gwar fan. So if you're not gonna ask me questions, I will in the meantime take an opportunity to plug. You guys have seen the top right of the screen, the gift box, PayPal. I'm actually sending gifts to people. Donations equal gifts. Patronage on Patreon equals gifts. We're doing our best to meet, donations with as much, product as possible to just show like thank you guys, like that. We're going to be doing here on the live stream donations are going to be met with painting themed, like modeling themed gifts. They'll be sent right to your house. It's all PayPal secure, so that feels like something you guys want to do to support me, by all means, don't feel pressured to do it. Like I'm going to do these with or without the support, but the support helps. Don't do it for money, but it does take money to do it. We've got Lock Infinity Kenny. I challenge you to come up with a good Assault Dark Eldar list. Probably won't even try, but challenge will fall on deaf ears. Ironheaded, Shock Vave says, "Can I sleep on your floor for a week so I can learn your gumbo?" LOL. No, you cannot. Gregarious 42. How do you get a good paint job on orcs and then looks orky? You gotta just gotta do your due diligence, man. I would hope that this orc plane right here looks good and orky. I would hope that this meets that criteria. It's all about just doing the work, man. Like I spent a good amount of time on this model, making sure that all those cracks and all those scratches were painted. All the freehand is done on it. The chipping on the window. Just gotta do your best to give it a nice clean paint job, but keep the theme of the army going. Like I definitely love the clean, dirty look, and when I paint my models. Uh, Black Tower says, "What's your thoughts on running Chaos Cabal with uh, Corn Demonkin and Flesh Hounds to get that scout move?" Yeah, that's good. Like I mean, Corn Demonkin is good. Like they're literally probably the best solo Chaos, and I do think the Cycloptic Cabal, is one of the only good things that have come out in Chaos formations. So that works, but I don't think you need your Psychers all close to the enemy. You know. Ironheaded says, "What greens you're going to be using on the orc skin?" I got some greens coming in from Vallejo. I can't remember the names, but I'll definitely share them with you guys in the next live stream. It might even make the studio tutorial this week. Uh, Dirty Shoes Mesquite, you're going to finish your tattoo? Probably not for a long time. I would say you guys want to see something funny? See that really bad skull on my hand? I painted that. I did that myself when I was enjoying adult beverages very responsibly one night when I got chocolate wasted. So that's why that looks so bad right there. Nope, nope, too old for it now. But that's it. I'll do one more Q&A before I shut this thing down. Come on. I know it's a 15-second delay. Any questions I missed? I don't think so. Looking for Zesh? LOL, Gregarious 42. Looking fresh anyway. Well, that's it. 7 o'clock, my man. I'm going to shut this stream down. Like I said, don't forget, patreon.com. You can support me, get early access to all my studio tutorials. You get ad-free experience. You get to see everything I do before anyone else the moment it happens. You also gain clutch access to some of the other videos that I produce. We have different price tier points for gifts. You can donate here. Don't feel pressured to. Like I said, I do this for the love of the hobby and to bring hobby back. Ironheaded and Catacouples, I can help you. Set some stuff up to help you manage the stream. I would appreciate that. Right now, I am using What am I using? I'm using uh I'm using a secondary program to broadcast, open broadcast software right now. Uh, Ironheaded says, "Tell it like a lie. The skull is coming through the warp." Yep, that was the intent. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Zeb, hit me up on Facebook. Love you guys.